Welcome back to 0 to 60, and today's episode we're doing my E92, which I'm excited about because it's been a long time since we've officially timed it. It has, and speaking of which, if you are new to the channel, or particularly if you haven't seen Andrew's 335 before, she is a freaking weapon. Do you want to... Yeah, I guess this car's current claim to fame, it has done 1 to 2 or 100 to 200 kilometers an hour in 6.1. Now,
which is pretty spicy.
It is spicy, but it's even more spicy considering what it's cost to build, because I've built this purely based on budget. It is a China 17T turbo build. I bought a secondhand port injection kit, and actually I did have China Walbro 450s in the boot, in the fuel tank. I have got one genuine Walbro 450. So all up, like, making it go fast has cost me about 5,000 or 6,000 Australian, which in American dollars is about 50 cents. So it's been a pretty cheap build. I've sort of fallen in love with this car, even though it has given me a little bit of a pain in the ass time. It's sort of like when you've got that crazy head case of a girlfriend that you don't want to break up with because she's just so much fun, but she's got all these problems mixed with it. That's this car, to a T.
It also, and actually you didn't mention the buy price for the car either, did you?
No.
It started off cheap.
Yeah, I bought it a year ago, and a year ago these things were quite expensive. I paid 10,000 Australian dollars for it. It was the cheapest one in the country. Again, I had a few little problems when I got it, a water pump, radiator.
But not uncommon for this platform.
No, and since then I did all the general maintenance stuff, put some turbos on it, wound it straight up to 27 PSI, and then I blew the motor up.
Boom, as you do.
Yeah, there's no way to sugarcoat it. However, there's a good chance that losing compression on cylinder 4 was actually caused by an electrical problem in the boot because the water pump wasn't working, and I didn't realise at the time.
Imagine that.
So it's been a bit of fun. By fun, I mean that head case girlfriend.
Well, even if that water pump issue, the power issue wasn't the issue, I mean, and it was just a power thing, I mean, you still chopped some seriously quick cars.
Yeah, we took it racing.
Yeah.
We beat corn-fed 750 horsepower Commodore.
Wait for that green.
He needs the front slide. I'll worry.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Can't remind you about that. Yeah, now current form. 1 week ago I got the replacement engine back in, which is a stock standard, straight out of another car with a new head gasket engine. There was a few problems with that as well. These M54s are interesting. But essentially it's a standard motor. The motor that's in it has done 122,000 kilometers. The car has done 150,000 kilometers. I've got a new bass tune from JSR Tuning. And we're going to go through the whole winding it up process again. We didn't just go straight to where we were with the last engine, just to make sure everything's safe. I'm confident JSR's tune was not the problem. The more I've learned about everything that's gone on with this car, I mean, there's a good chance the previous owner
just didn't.
Well, there's a good chance he cooked it because the water pump and the radiator was gone. And then
you even found traces of...
There was chemi weld in it when I got it as well, yeah.
Right.
So, I mean, it may have had a head gasket issue. We'll know once we get the other motor taken apart. Anyway, it's been a fun little thing, this. But currently, it has now got a Mfactory clutched 1.5 way diff in it, and I haven't timed its acceleration with this diff. It went in about 2 days before the engine lost power. So I'm really excited to see what that's going to do to its acceleration times. It is sitting on Michelin PS4Ss. I bought these tyres secondhand, but they've got a fair bit of tread on them. They're about 3 years old. 2 or 3 years old.
They're not the freshest of freshes. However, that diff, since you have had put that diff in, you've done some serious roll-ons, even on off-camber roads, and she hooks a million times better, even when you first got those tyres, doesn't it?
Yeah, the biggest thing I've noticed, with the power the car had before, you would never even think about accelerating if you're going around a corner, where you can actually apply some decent power now around a curve, which is bizarre in this car. It's a sensation that I didn't have when it was on its early tuning days.
I've got to ask, just for the viewers that might not have seen this build previously, with these 17Ts, with the tune that's currently on it, as you're working your way back up to the monster that it was, what do you reckon, power-wise, what do you reckon it is?
My goal, and whether we get there or not, I want to actually roll 600 wheel horsepower on a dyno.
At the wheels.
At the wheels.
Yeah.
I think it was probably pretty close to that when we melted it last time. Like the speed that we both...
Yeah,
that 750 wheel horsepower Commodore, it was close, and I beat him most times, but I'd say it was similar on the way they rolled down the road. So, yeah. And these do put power down better than a lot of other chassis. I'd say 600 wheels a high number for a 17T build, but I'd like to get there. We'll see how we go. Definitely in that 580 to 600 wheel horsepower mark.
600 horsepower.
Which puts it at over 700 at the engine, which is just mega for a cheap build.
Yeah.
It's still running the standard ZF six-speed automatic transmission. I'm only running XHP Stage 3 flash on it, not custom software. Yeah, I think, Dave, I want to go and see what it does. I'm hoping, with you in the car, I'd like to see a 4.2.
4.2, that's... we've done so many 0-60s on this thing now. I can't even remember what was the fastest time it's done.
The fastest official time we've done with 2 people in the car was 4.6.
4.6, so you want to shave that by a decent chunk straight away.
Yeah, the 4.6 was with, I think it's when we had the port injection running about it must have been fully 85 port injection stock turbo. So it was pretty much when the stock turbos were maxed out, we did a 4.6.
And now with those, I mean, those 17Ts, it makes a hell of a difference, but such a limiting factor was the traction. It would just there was even people in the comments saying to start in second gear and to stop the wheel spin, and it would just start spinning the tyres straight away.
Yeah, even with stock turbos, without boost limiting, I'd easily spin up second gear. The way I'm going to run it right now, I've got first gear limited to 9.9 PSI. Don't ask me why it's 9.9, I've just left it there. And second gear is going to be limited to 23 PSI. Okay. Third gear will wind out to 25, but we won't be getting into third anyway. Actually, we might do some 60 to 120s as a bit of a comparison.
But yeah, it won't attribute to the 0 to 60 time or 0 to 100 time anyway.
And timing is very conservative at the moment. We will peak at 10 degrees of timing on this map, but only at the very high end of the RPM range. It's a very, very lazy map in regards to timing, which, I'm going to be honest, I think might actually help. The full-blown power map that we were on last time was just crazy. Like, I didn't have much time with the diff, but I could like easily spin the tires at 120 kilometers an hour before with the open diff. And I could still spin these tires with the diff. So look, I don't know, I want to see a 4.2. I'd be happy with that. Dave, let's go and do it.
4.2, guys, what do you think this is going to do now that you know everything that's been done to it, its previous quickest time, and knowing that it has got a pretty good LSD in the rear as well? Comment below what time you think it's going to do. I reckon we'll camera this thing up, head out to the road, get some heat into her, and do some times.
I'm keen.
Let's do it.
So, out on the road, as I said, it's not on its final tune. It's not even close. This is actually the first revision. But it still feels pretty nippy. It could be placebo, but this engine feels quicker than the other one.
I would be surprised if it is.
So,
because that last engine was very quick, and I think these cars, or this car in particular, this build is just really freaking quick.
It is.
So you put another engine in and you'll probably think the same thing again.
You know what the worst thing about this is? How hard it is to capture the speed on film. Because it's so quiet.
You can't.
And it doesn't really do anything except just go really fast.
It doesn't even look that quick from the outside because it's so... With this Miltech exhaust, it's really quiet.
It's funny, we had a little bit of a run against the E46 earlier.
If you can call it that.
Yeah, and like within 2 seconds it's had like 4 car lengths.
Yeah, and I got the jump as well.
Yeah. All right, you guys, you'll see us again when we get to the spot to do these time runs. Looking forward to it. Wish us luck.
Let's do it.
So surface 1 is a bit of a crappy surface, but let's see what it does.
It's a good warm-up, a good intro.
It's definitely a crappy surface. Alrighty, here we go. Bad surface.
Jeez Louise. That was weird. This car has never done that getting off the line, has it? It's normally just starts dancing as it goes left to right wheel.
Come on, what does it do? It was slow, but what?
Yeah, it wasn't that good. It was 5.28, 0 to 60 miles an hour.
Yeah, let's take that.
Yep, cool. Alright, ready? We're looking good. See what she's got.
Oh, the rev limiter.
Add it again. Fuck. Whoa, that's vicious when she hits the limiter. But that's 4.68.
That's terrible.
That's 4.68 and hit the limiter twice. Yep.
Limiter again.
4.5.
That's all it's got, I reckon.
A 60 to 120 of 3.04.
That's all it's gonna do. Well guys, we've tried, but we'll give you a summary once we get back, because I'm a little disappointed.
Few things going on, particularly with today, so let's see.
So I'm selling the car. It's just not very quick.
4.5.
That was a 4.51 0 to 100 kilometers an hour. That translates to 4.33 0 to 60 miles an hour,
which is very quick for real world acceleration, 0 to 100k, 0 to 60 times.
Quicker.
Well, it was quicker than your last
just lost
time.
my voice. Yeah, look, we have still improved on stock turbo times. I'd done a few 0 to 100 runs before I put the diff in. Unfortunately, it was only one person in the car, so it's not a fair comparison. But I have gone quicker than that with the open diff with one person in the car. But it doesn't count because on this channel we always have two people in the car. But that's why I'm a bit disappointed, I think. I still can't put the power down.
You are forgetting that, I mean, you've had these tyres for a year now. They were already secondhand at that point in time. Since you've had them, they have done a lot of wheel spins.
Yes.
Not necessarily stationary burnouts, but they've gone through a lot of heat cycles. And on a day like today, it's 30 plus degrees, old tyres.
Here's what I'm going to put it down to. I don't think the 0 to 30 kilometers an hour is going to get much quicker. We're going to be limited by the rear end setup. We've got 19-inch wheels. It's just never going to put good power down at that speed. But if I can get my other map back from JSR, come on, let me turn it up again, we'll be able to get there. Because even the 60 to 120 times, we're nearly 0.4 of a second slower than we used to be.
Was it 0.4 of a second?
Yeah, I've done a 2.6.
Holy shit. Damn, that's a big difference in percentage.
Yeah, and again, like I said at the start, we're not running aggressive timing. And timing, I know I like to look at boost and go, yeah, we got more boost, but timing can make just as much difference. And we got on gentle timing at the moment. We've got to ease it back in. So there is hope at the end, light at the end of the tunnel.
Well, when you put it that way, you're running less power, the tyres are older, less power tune, less boost, and it's still gone quicker.
We'll get there. We'll get there. So 4.5 seconds, 0 to 100k an hour. It's not bad.
It ain't all that bad.
But I really want to get into the threes, and I'm starting to think it's going to be a bit of a challenge, but we'll see how we go.
Damn right it'll be a challenge, but don't give up now. Keep at it. I reckon it's doable. This car can do it.
Yeah, actually, and I do need to, I haven't even logged this map yet at 25 PSI, so please don't get mad at me with JSR. There will be a video on going through and doing some proper logs and some higher speed testing, I guess, to make sure it is doing what it's supposed to be doing. Yeah, that's going to come this week. Looking forward to it. There is a promo on for JSR tuning at the moment. He did email it through the other night. I think it's $50 off, but I'll put all the details down in the description below. Jump on that while you can. He said it was to celebrate getting the motor running again. God, he's a good lad. All right, let's end it off there, Dave.
Hell yeah. Look, don't beat yourself up too much. 4.5 is pretty damn good in real world conditions. And hey, look, that was the first time with the new diff and the new engine. We can have another go. Comment below if you reckon we need to wind this thing up. Well, if JSR needs to wind this thing up, we'll go back out into the streets and get this thing down into the threes.
Let's do it. All right, guys, we'll catch you on the next one.
Peace.